at Gutterworks. Gutterworks, always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. Link in the description down below to them there if you want to check them out. If you're in the Southwest Michigan area and you're looking for some custom home exterior work or gutters or anything like that, they do all that kind of stuff. So let's just start right off the bat here. So Jet goes 1-1 again, so he's now 6-0. He's led literally every single lap. So it's funny because if you listen to like the JS7 podcast there, he talked a lot last week about like, oh, he's pushing. Like, it doesn't seem like it, but he's pushing. And then there's interviews coming out this week with Jet about how he's not really pushing that hard. And then we get to the end of the race yesterday after he goes 1-1 again, and he gives his interview, and James comes back on and goes, oh, these boys are all in trouble, because he literally just gave an interview like when he was in the 250 class, which was he was relaxed, he feels zero pressure, and he knows he has literally every single one of you boys covered. I know a big topic of conversation last week was Justin had said that, like, well, even if he goes 22-0, if he's not dominating motos, then like it really won't count, you know. And that first moto yesterday, he won by, at one point there on the last couple laps, he was up by 24 seconds. The second moto, when conditions were much more treacherous there, the rain had started, which was weird. It was only raining basically on part of the track, I think, and not the other part. I don't know. It was a super strange situation there. He still won by 11 or 12 seconds at that point, with that track being greasy the way it was. So I can't wait to have Justin, and hopefully he'll be here next week, and to stamp it, to talk to him about, like, does this, if he continues to win motos like this, does this kind of stamp this out here and you know, make it legitimate? Because, you know, the week before it was, as I said, he was managing and only won by 5 seconds or whatever. And now this week he wins the first moto by 24 seconds and the second moto by 12 in not great conditions. In my mind, this is starting to stamp it as he is the man. He is, again, I'm not trying to say he's better than Ricky or James, but it's going to put him in the conversation there if he does somehow end up with a perfect season here, which again, I'm not calling it yet. I'm like, Weege, I'm going to slow play this. Like, he could, but I'm not going to guarantee it. It would be strange to see him not, but stuff happens. So anyway, Aaron Plessinger goes 4-2 for second. Man, that first moto. Okay, let's just get into this. So the Dylan Plessinger crash there, the first moto. Like, what the hell was Dylan doing? That was a complete bonehead move. It was, I don't even know. Like you're trying to cut across ruts, and James said on the broadcast, like, oh, well, maybe there was a hook in the rut or something. In the middle of the rut, there's a hook in it that, like, throws him out. I don't know, man. To me, it looked like he came in and he either knew AP was there and was trying to get AP to stop so he couldn't pass him, or he didn't know AP was there and he was just trying to pivot and make a different line, which was really strange. Either way, completely Dylan's fault, completely stupid. I give AP a lot of credit for being like, oh, man, just a racing incident. I don't know, man. That was a bonehead move by Dylan either way, whether it was intentional or not. So, again, AP's luck just kind of like just complete shit for the year. But still the second best guy out of these guys, in my opinion, at this point in the season. And so it was good to see him go 4-2 there and get that second overall, because he really does deserve that. Like, the first two rounds, he was clearly the second best guy and just had terrible luck and just rode his balls off for the finishes he got. So that was good to see there. Cooper Webb goes 2-5 for third overall. Yeah, that was okay. He's building. He's saying by Redbud he feels like he'll be 100%, which, for anybody who doesn't know, we have a High Point next week, and then we have a week off, and then we go to Redbud. So maybe, but even, you know, when he gets to that point, what's he doing? Battling with Plessinger for second place like he's doing now, and kind of hoping that something happens to Jet, which we almost saw with the whole hitting the hand on the light marker on the side of the track there yesterday. So I don't know. I don't see Webb's outdoor skill being enough. I don't see Webb's speed being enough to compete with Jet unless he gets a start and Jet's buried and Jet's got to come through. But even at that point, Jet's going to come up to like 5th place really quickly. So I don't know, but he's definitely in the battle for second here. So we'll see how that goes. AC goes 3-6. Goes 3-6 for 4th. That podium in the first moto was really good. He rode really, really good that first moto. He was kind of froggy all day, fast, but that second moto, man, there was that weird fade, and I don't know if it was the arm situation. I'm not really sure. I'm really hoping that when he goes into this offseason, he goes back, gets more stem cells done into his arm there, that really cures that arm, because, man, if this guy could hold on with 2 hands with the age he is and how he kind of knows to slow himself down a bit now, I do really think he could be a player. But that arm, I think, is just holding him back here, and he's not really super pumped on it. Like, he's not pumped to go out there and ride around in 4th, 5th place. So we'll have to see how this progresses as we go throughout the year. Dylan goes 7-3 for 5th. Again, that first moto with him running it or doing that stupid move there with Plessinger and going down and having to work his way up from the back, like getting to 7th, that was okay. That third and the second moto, he fought hard for that against Masterpool. So that was a hard fought, almost like Dylan Danger Zone moment there. Ty Masterpool. This is the talk of the day. Ty Masterpool goes 5-4 for 6th overall. I think he qualified like 3rd or something. Like, it was insane the speed that kid had. And I don't know if we'll see it at High Point. I know for fantasy sakes, come Redbud, he's going on my team because he always kills it at Redbud, and he's doing super good right now. I listened to a post-race interview he did with Mathis, and basically he said, yeah, man, I don't really think about battling with those guys. I'm just battling myself just like I do every day. And to be honest, if you know that's the problem, is that like you got to battle yourself because yourself is what's costing you how you ride. That's okay. That's the first step, is like figuring out the problem. So now if he knows the problem and he can actually do something with that, that'll be super cool to see how that works out. But that was excellent to see. And man, I really thought he had that podium that second moto, but Dylan does Dylan things sometimes. So we'll see. It would not surprise me at all if he continues this momentum when we get to Redbud, if he's on the box. That would be 100% in the realm of things I could see happening. Garrett Marchbanks jumps up to the 450, goes 6-8 for 7. That, to me, is good. They're just trying to get one of these club bikes into those SMX rounds. And I think this was the smartest move they could have made. Whatever's going on with their 250 bike, it's struggling outdoors, and it surprised both J-Mart and Garrett. Again, I listened to another interview with Garrett here after the race, and he was just as surprised as J-Mart was of, like, we came in thinking we were going to go maybe, like, say 5-6 range, and to go 15-16, we were like, whoa. So, yeah, I think this was a great move for Marchbanks, and this is pretty much where I see him the rest of the year here until some of these other guys come back. You get some guys like Barsha, if Ando ever comes back, those kind of dudes. You'll see him probably still battling there in that realm, but then it'll stretch out a little bit. Instead of say like 4 to 8, it's going to be like 5 to 10 range or whatever. But that'll still be good. He'll get a lot of points, and he'll be able to, I think, get himself into these SMX rounds. Grant Harlan goes 8-7 for 8th. That was a great ride by Grant. It's amazing to think that he only qualified for one main last year in 2022 on a 250 for Supercross, and then this year he jumps on the 450, makes 13 out of 17, and now comes outdoors. And obviously there's a lot of injuries. No one's arguing that. But he straight up passed AC that second moto, and then ended up getting passed back. But man, dude, he's definitely making a name for himself here. I think he's going to do World Supercross too here. I believe I saw that. He's on some team for WSX. So I don't know how many more of these rounds he's going to do. Maybe he's going to do High Point and then start doing that. I'm not really sure. But man, what a great summer going for him. The Swede, Freddie Noren, goes 10-10 for 9th. That's a good ride for Freddie. He's not really happy. He's been getting good starts, and he feels like he should be beating some of these guys. I assume guys like Grant Harlan Marchbanks, those kind of dudes. Ty Masterpool, he feels like he should be beating. And, I just want to make a case here right now of like guys like Freddie, guys like Masterpool. This right here is prime example of why there should be supercross specialists and motocross specialists, and it should be treated as two different sports entirely. Like, I know all these guys, we all grow up riding motocross, and then you transition to supercross there when you go pro, whatever. I really, really think that a lot of these teams would be better off, and a lot of these guys would be better off if there were supercross contracts and then motocross contracts. You would get to see a whole bunch of different guys. You could employ a whole bunch of different guys, and it would make things, in my opinion, much, much more interesting than what they are right now. Because you would have motocross-specific guys who trained all year for this, and I don't really understand why these teams can't do that. Like, I understand there's budgets and things, but how much does it really cost to have a guy like Freddie on your payroll, and like having him with a bike and doing some testing and that? Like, it cannot be that much that it's gonna hurt these teams, from what I know, but whatever. Lucrucio goes 12.9 for 10th. Derek Drake's another big surprise here. At one point, Derek Drake was like the second fastest qualifier, right behind AC, ahead of Jet yesterday. That heart condition, they obviously got that fixed. He goes 9.12 for 11th. Great ride for him, and it's good to see this kid finally start to put some stuff together here as far as his pro career goes. Hopefully this continues for the rest of the outdoor season. That would be very cool, and then he can kind of carry this momentum into Supercross next year. But we'll see how it goes. Marshall Welton, 11.11 for 12. That was a good ride for Marshall, because he's just been having nothing but shit luck here between crashes and guys running into him and all that kind of stuff. So it's good to see Marsh up there. Roman Pap, whatever, 14.13 for 13th. Luca Marsalisi goes 15.18 for 14th. Tyler Stepick goes 13.38 for 15th. Chiz goes 23.14 for 16th. That's a little odd for Chiz, but I have to assume he's into World Supercross training at this point, since we've only got a couple of weeks left until that fires off. So he's probably not riding a lot of outdoors. He's just literally here riding outdoor races. Max Miller goes 20.15 for 17th. Jeremy Hand goes 19.16 for 18. Jerry Robin had a rough day. I don't know what happened there. 17.19 for 19th. And then Kate Namarine, 16.21 for 20th. Jose Butron, 21st. That's kind of a weird one. Let's see here. Michigan shout-outs. Jeff Walker goes 26.24 for 25th, so that's okay for him. Not in the points, but whatever. Jace Kessler goes 32.37 for 36, so that was okay. And I think that's it there. Poor A-Ray, 39 DNF for 40th. So, yeah, so that was your 450 race recap here, brought to you by Gutterworks. Again, always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. All right.